Hey folks, welcome to the new episode of our podcast, and today we're here at the FOSDEM in Brussels with Nico Corti.
Hi,
Hey Nico.
everyone.
And yeah, Nico, it's a friend and a colleague also from the, I think we met originally at the Kotlin and Android World, right?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly where we met. But yeah, so, FOSDEM, just a small shout out. This is my 10th year at this conference, and it's amazing. Like, if you want to breathe open source, you need to come here. It's full of people, a lot of projects, a lot of like really niche projects that you don't get to discover normally, and there are also like big ones like Mozilla and so on. So come next year, you will have a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. We can recommend it. So many people. That's something that you can see here. And well, Nico is very well known for being one of the React Native maintainers, right? You're very involved with the entire repository, external contributions. You've been for a very long time also maintaining your own projects, right?
Yeah.
You're the author of Tackle for Android. You have been contributing to many other plugins, libraries, so you know all the problems and situations that can happen in the open source. Maybe to get started, how is your view, or your philosophy on open source libraries and external contributions? How do you see them?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question. You mentioned a lot of different projects now. When I was in college, I always thought like, hey, I want to contribute to open source. Like that was my driving force. I remember even when I was in high school, I was amazed by the whole Linux ecosystem and getting to give something back to the community, because that's the philosophy that I see behind open source. Like you get something for free, but you also need to give something back. And giving something back can mean contributing code, but a lot of times can also mean like just reporting a bug, fixing documentation, just going to a meetup and being part of the community. So I think that's the broader open source as a whole. Sometimes there are projects that are really hard to contribute to, and I know a lot of people that try to send pull requests to projects and sometimes they get ignored because the project is too busy or maintenance can't keep up and so on. So don't get afraid if your first experience with an open source pull request doesn't go as well, because doing contributions can mean like a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. I think that will sort of represent what I think about open source as a whole. Absolutely.
For folks that are trying to contribute for the first time to React Native, right? You use React Native as a developer, you see that there is a bug or a feature that is not present that you would like to have. What would you recommend to start with?
Yeah, so I would say, as I was saying before, documentation is a great starting point. So, for example, the website lives in a separate repository, which is way easier to contribute to because it's smaller, it has less traffic, it's easier to onboard. There are a lot of extensive documentation explaining you how to update our documentation. So sometimes there is a property that is not exact, or maybe the version where it was added is not the correct one. So you can just send like a pull request and fix that, or typos. Like a lot of typos in the docs can be fixed. I would say that's really good starting point. Another way to contribute, which is really great, is sending bugs with good reproducers. Like sometimes you send a bug that things are not working well, but the best part is actually to provide a reproducer. So something that, like a really small application that explains how the bug is happening, so that someone else on the other part of the globe can take your simple example and reproduce the bug. That helps so much to get bugs to be fixed. Don't attempt to go inside the core of React Native and like the core of any project and try to come up with optimizations that like you think they're working, but most of the times you don't have the full picture. And then one last thing that I want to recommend to everyone that wants to start is, please start with a project that you are using. You need to be a user of that. Don't get a random project online, because the risk is so high that you really don't know what the project does. You really miss the whole picture. So get something that you use daily. There is, I don't know, maybe like a little tool that you use in your console, a little desktop application that you use that is open source, and something that annoys you, like a bug or a missing feature. Start with that, because you are a user, you know what you need. That is the best way to get through and like improve the tool that you're using and so on. Mm-hmm. So yeah, start from there.
We have seen also recently that there is a lot of AI slope, and this has been flooding the open source ecosystem as well, right? Like you get pull requests that have been very obviously generated via, with one of the AI agent or one AI AID without really understanding anything. It's easy to see sometimes, right? Like on the pull request description, there might be like an over explanation of things that have been done, like this usage of keywords and stuff. And we saw recently that some open source maintainers have been complaining about, right now we're getting like 100 pull requests every month that are not always representative, and we can't really deal with them because we don't have resources. Are you having this problem, and how are you dealing with it in case you're having it?
Yeah, so we had this project with this problem with one of my projects that I'm maintaining, which is called Detect. It's a static analyzer for Kotlin, quite popular. We updated our contribution guideline, and there we added a paragraph about AI contributions. So there we specify that we are okay with code generated by AI, but if we feel that the pull request has been entirely generated without even reading it through, or without like the author providing no context at all, we retain the right to just close it and reject it, because at the end of the day, especially for projects that are like independent, like Detect and a lot of other Android libraries which are like maintained by individuals like me and others, our time is so precious. Like we have so little free time to do pull requests, to do development, to do releases, to do docs, and publishing on Maven Central, a lot of things.
Fixing Maven Central.
Yes, exactly. So because our time is so precious, we don't want AI to abuse of it, no? So if we feel that contribution is not of high quality, we're just gonna reject it. And I mean, obviously, use AI I also use it to fix some of the bugs that we have in our tool, absolutely. And I'm actually been impressed by it. But yeah, we want to make sure that the contributions that we receive are worthy and they're not just wasting our time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So if we continue with the topic of AI, which AI tooling are you using, especially related to open source? Are you integrated with any MCPs? Are you using any specific models? Is there any ID that is working better for you? What has been your experience with AI?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question. I use plenty of them. Like I love to be the early adopter. So whatever is new on the market, I just install it and try it, and so on. I think for open source management itself, rather than IDEs or MCP tools, there are a couple of flows that I saw that are extremely interesting, and I want to call it out. One is using Claude, but as part of issue triaging. So what you can do, you can use GitHub Actions, and if you have like an Anthropic API key, you can put the key in as a secret on GitHub Actions and let GitHub Action do the issue triaging for you. So Claude will run, obviously you have like a prompt in your GitHub Actions that says like, hey, you are the most expert issue triager for this repo, and this is a new issue, get all the previous one, and apply all the relevant labels.
So this could be good. Like a flow that is every time you open a new issue, Correct. It automatically applies a heuristic and determines the triage level that you want.
Correct. And that also can be used, for example, to flag important issues. Because when a project gets really, really big, you will have the problem that you can't look at all the bugs. Like, you need to be able to distinguish between the noise, which bugs are the really important one that you want to spend your time on. And yeah, like I think AI on that is extremely valuable. Another tool that I've been using is GitHub Copilot. Especially because it's deeply integrated inside GitHub. So you can, for example, when you have a new pull request, you can assign Copilot as a reviewer, and that will do like a first round of review to your pull request. So it will start giving you comments like, hey, yeah, maybe this, variable that has been added here is like probably irrelevant, wrong visibility, whatever. So it's basically like a linter, like I treat it like that. Like the first round of review, Copilot is gonna do it for me. So yeah, that helps a lot because again, I have tools that simplify my review process. So yeah, definitely, yeah, Copilot and this other flow, which is using Claude or any other term UI-based agent inside GitHub Actions. I think it's a really nice loop. So yeah, those are tools to recommend any maintainer that has like those struggles with a lot of traffic, a lot of issues, a lot of pull requests to look into, because it's really great.
Fantastic. I really like the idea of the issue triaging because that's a real issue for maintainers, right?
Yeah,
If you're
exactly.
getting like 5 issues per day, you don't have the time to read them, discuss them, and automating it with some heuristic that you give to Gen AI sounds like fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Maybe you can let the audience know where they can find you and how they can contact you if they have any other questions.
Absolutely. So you can find me online as Corti Nico everywhere, like Twitter, GitHub, X, whatever. Like just Corti Nico, or you can drop me an email, corti.nico@gmail.com. And yeah, like I hope to find you on GitHub, on pull requests and issues, and have a great day.
Likewise, thank you very much, Nico.